Cambodia is a beautiful and diverse country, and it's best known for Angkor Wat, which is the largest religious structure in the whole world. And while it's impressive, then for me the most memorable day in Cambodia was definitely when I was visiting the Genocide Museum and killing fields in Phnom Penh. At school we learned about the Holocaust, Rwandan genocide and war in Vietnam, but I do not remember learning anything about the genocide in Cambodia. Are you ready for the audio tour?
Yeah, should be interesting.
How much do you know about
absolutely
this?
nothing, so yeah.
Nothing?
Should be quite insightful.
So it seems like we have 32 audio stops, and this is the stop number 1. I'm pretty excited because people say the audio tour should be quite good. Yeah, so let's get going. The audio guide was very well prepared, and it gave us an opportunity to learn about these events at our own pace, and we could get deeply into the personal stories shared by different people about the cruel events that happened in Cambodia. The genocide happened in 1975 to 79 during the Khmer Rouge regime. And one of the first things that they did, they forced the urban residents to move to the countryside. It was part of the plan of creating communist society in rural areas. At the same time, also the mass executions started taking place. The so-called enemies were intellectuals, professionals, religious leaders, ethnic minorities, and people who were associated with previous government or foreign countries. In total, approximately 2 million people were killed, which was about 25% of the country's whole population. The museum is located at the previous high school, where the prisoners were tortured in many different ways, such as beating, electric shocks, and waterboarding. The area is pretty small, and it must have been horrible to have thousands of people tortured in such a small area. About 17,000 prisoners were detained in this prison, and only 12 of them survived, including 4 children.
I would say definitely something you have to see, although it's quite hard to kind of take everything in, but yeah, definitely if you're traveling in Cambodia, I would say it's a good stop to make.
From the S-21 prison, the victims were taken to the killing fields. Now we are in front of this genocidal center, that's also known as the killing fields. What any expectations or what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, people have told it's just the fields, but it doesn't look like that. When I look in, there are some more things. Yeah, let's first try to get the ticket. Killing fields are sites all over Cambodia, where the victims of Khmer regime were killed and buried. We visited the most famous one of them, which was just outside of Phnom Penh. To save the bullets, the victims were often beaten to death with heavy objects, and children were killed either with machetes, drowning, beating, or just their heads were beaten against the trees. Women were often raped before their death, and mostly victims had to dig their own graves before dying. During the rainy season, the soil at the killing fields may erode during the heavy rainfall, and as a result, the bones and other remains of the victims might become visible on the ground. There is also a memorial stupa which is filled with thousands of human skulls which were found from the mass graves at the site. I have visited Auschwitz in Poland and also the Genocide Museum in Rwanda. And I would say that Auschwitz has a lot of similarities to S-21 and killing fields in Cambodia. The buildings were very similar, and also the way you start your tour at the prison and you proceed to the place where people were killed in huge numbers. And at the same time, the sun was shining and everything felt so peaceful that it was very difficult to imagine how these cruel things could even have happened here. So it's already some minutes past 5 and we left home 9 in the morning, and it has been a really interesting day. We started at this museum first, S-21 museum, and then we moved on to the killing fields, which are like 7 kilometers further. We just took via Grab app. It's quite easy to get here. You can even take a bus, but yeah, we didn't have the time to spare for the bus. So my overall impression is like this day has been very educative, of course, because I could learn the part of the history that maybe we were taught at the school, but I don't remember. And also Ferdy says that he doesn't remember that they would have taught about it at school. So it has been really educative, and I think the style of how they have designed this both sides is really great. So in both places you can take audio guide and just walk around with your headphones on, which I think is pretty good for this kind of tour, because you can be in your own bubble, move your own speed, and you can get into the stories of the people, and yeah, you can really like get into it and just walk around, think about it, listen to stories, and it's like an interesting journey. So definitely I recommend to take audio guides in both places and just take your time, don't rush, like take the whole day, go to the S-21 in the morning and then come to the killing fields in the evening, and S-21 gives you this interesting introduction or like context to come later here to the killing fields. All these sites, 3 of them that I have visited in Cambodia, they have been very well managed, and I'm really impressed. The ticket prices have been also quite high, like the museum in the morning was $10 with the audio guide, 5 without audio guide, and this one was $6 with the audio guide. I didn't see any option without audio guide, but it's like it's so well organized and well built up all the museum system and decides that you kind of understand where the money is going. Yeah, it was absolutely interesting day. And going home now and looking forward for my work week with my volunteering work at a local NGO in Phnom Penh.